let's deal with this surgically. And I really want to get into, because you're like, are black people cursed by God or just religious lies? So I'm going to deal with it on the religious aspect, because when we say God, of course, people can take it in any way, but I want to stick to the religious aspect of it, because in these Abrahamic religions, right? And what I also like to say, within these modern formations of these Abrahamic religions as well, uh, this whole system is really set up by the oppressor class. So if you're following these modern religions as a black person, yeah, you are cursed within these religions because you are the one that is oppressed. So that's why I do say, yeah, it is religious lies. Because at the end of the day, just like how the brother said with the inventions, but let's go a little deeper. If we are really cursed by God, if black people are cursed by God, why is it that our physiology, right? Our makeup, the makeup of black people, why is it that we are the ones that actually have the bodies that interact with nature better than anybody else? Why is it that even in space, right? Even in space travel, they show, or they have shown, that in order, you have the black woman whose bone density is the least disrupted in space, followed by the black man. And then everyone else, their bone structure gets warped, right? So, like, the only way we could be cursed is if we had an oppressor or an oppressor class with a system saying that we are the ones that are actually cursed. Because when we really look at what goes on in life, like how the brother said earlier, who are the ones coming up with the inventions? Who are the ones that have been interacting with nature before any other group on the planet even existed? Right? So let's like really like get into that, because if we deal with things from a logical perspective, we are the ones who are blessed. And our only curse is to have others around us who are jealous of that because they are not us. That's why you actually have constructs in damn near every culture on the globe where they're anti-black. But this is also a modern thing, because in antiquity, everybody got some black statues buried up in their ground. If you go into Asia, if you go into Europe, North and South America, the deeper you dig, the blacker it gets. So we must also tie that in, because we got to realize, hey, look, all of these curses that come, it comes with the oppressor. And it also comes with a thing of a psychological game being played. Another thing, the brother said earlier, I think it was Martin, when he was speaking, he also made a very valid point. And that point is that when you, and I'm paraphrasing, so you can correct me as well. But basically, what I got from what you were saying is like, you have various Asian cultures, the Hindus in China, in Japan, they all basically they worship their gods, their deities, whatever. They speak their languages and they're proud. Whereas with black people, you know, we have an issue where it's like, we're kind of being separated from that, where it's like we're taught to look down on that. But I also want to bring up the point, why is that? Because why is it that we tend to be in that situation and these other cultures aren't? Because they were also targeted at one point. So one would think, and now I'm not saying that this is what it is, but one would, like, if you didn't know any better, you would look and think, oh, these people have strong ties to their culture. But once you really start to get into what it is, you're going to start to realize, no, they don't. They actually don't really got strong ties into their cultures. When you really look deeper into their cultures, their cultures are whitewashed too. Asian cultures are whitewashed. Hindu, that culture is whitewashed. They have a whole caste system where the darker you are, That's the closer to basically being nothing. When you look at the untouchables in the Hindu uh religion and culture, they are the darkest people. They're on the bottom. The lighter you get, the closer to being pale, then you are closer to quote unquote God in their religions. When you look at what goes on in Japan and Asia, the original people of these lands were darker, but their images are lighter. When you look at Buddha, Buddha in origin is black. Now he's some fat, pale, bald guy, right? So let's not really get caught up in that, because even though they do tend to accept their cultures also have been whitewashed. So this whole thing of black people being cursed is something that didn't just start really as we know it within the days of the transatlantic slave trade, and like how I said, more just with the Abrahamic traditions. It's actually a little deeper than that, but that's where it really comes from. It comes from the fact that these religions themselves are deeply rooted in anti-blackness. So our only curse is that we have an oppressor who wants to keep us subjugated, that wants to keep us in a position where they are being vampiristic, continuously draining our resources, continuously draining our inventions, and continuously draining our birthright on this planet. That's the only curse we're dealing with. But that's not a curse from God. That sounds more like, if you're following that paradigm, that sounds more like actions of a devil. So I would like to land my plane with that.